Guys, I want you to remember before we get started that we are sponsored by SeatGeek. Yes, SeatGeek is now officially sponsoring Three Bold Takes. Guys, we are so glad to let you know that with your first purchase with SeatGeek, you get $20 off using our code Three Bold Takes. SeatGeek's perfect for any kind of live events, whether that's sports, entertainment like music, or even like local plays that you would want to go to. I use them for every sporting event I've gone to. I've never been disappointed. They give me great information on the tickets, whether it's a good price or not, before I ever purchase it. It is the only way that I buy tickets. So, guys, remember, use SeatGeek. Our code Three Bold Takes, get $20 off your first purchase. All right, guys. Next up on the docket, Saturday, noon. Big noon kickoff. In fact, we got the game. Michigan travels into Ohio State. Man, how long has it been now since Ohio State got a win in this game?
In 3 years, I think. Going on
I
four.
thought it was,
think it's
yeah, I
four.
mean, it's
It's
four.
four.
Yeah,
Might
21,
be.
22, 20. No, 21, 22, 23. Last time
It's
they
gonna be
got him
four,
was
right?
it's close to four. It's getting really close to four. The game's coming back into Ohio Stadium. Ohio State 20.5 point favorites over the team that has beat them 3 years in a row. What are you thinking, Chase? Where are you leaning?
Yeah. So actually, a cool fun fact: this is the first three-peat wins for Michigan in this game since the '90s, since '95 through '97. So, and if you have to go for four, you have to go all the way back to the '80s for that one. So look, man, I said it really boldly in the summer, and I've stuck to it all year. Michigan is not the team that they were going to be coming in. I want to say that it's a lot on the players, but it's a lot on the coaching as well. I mean, you started a walk on kid for the first 3 4 weeks of the season. It was like, you know what, we can still compete for national championships. No, no, you couldn't, and you found out very quickly you couldn't. Michigan's not been the same team. They kind of went away from who they were last year to this year. Just miserable losses, losing to Illinois, losing to Washington, and then you lost a close one to Indiana as well, who you thought you could beat. This is going to be, hopefully, should be a bloodbath. However, I will say Ohio State has been extremely entitled to who they are this year. If anybody watched kind of the post reactions to beating Kurt Signetti and the Indiana team, everybody in the nation knew Ohio State was going to win that game, and they should have. I think even Kurt knew that one going into that game. But the way Will Howard and a lot of that team acted after that game, just kind of like, like doing. Did y'all see the cigarette thing where he like took it out and put it on the ground, like rubbed it? Yeah, like that stuff. You're Ohio State, man. You should be beating these teams regardless of the number in front of them. We all knew Indiana wasn't a number 5 team in the nation, so it should be Ohio State. Would love to see Michigan stick it to them, but regardless, if you lose this game, keep the entire team, lose the head coach. That is it. Like Ryan Day's got to be gone if he loses this game. But as a 20.5 point spread, I don't think you do. I think this is going to be a 38-10 game in Ohio State's favor. So I'm going to go OSU and the Buckeyes.
Yeah, so in our previous video, it was Georgia Tech that we just got done shooting. I mentioned these rivalry games and when the spread is 20 plus, typically a team doesn't cover, and it's a good bet to go for the underdog. Not in this game. I think this is going to be a bloodbath. Personally, I think there's hatred on both sides here, obviously. This is one of the biggest rivalries in the country in college football history. But when a team is far superior than the other, and there is this much hatred, I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State tried to score 100 points on. Now,
Yeah.
obviously they won't, but they're going to try to run the score up. This isn't going to be oh, we're up by 15, let's coast the way through. I don't think that's going to happen in this game, especially since you've lost to them 3 years in a row. Ryan Day needs to make a statement here, and I think Ohio State does it, and they win, and they not only win, but they cover the spread of 20.5.
Yeah, Freddie, I'm glad you brought that up when we were talking about how most rivalry games are super close and having big spreads is disrespectful. Not this one. This one has the perfect mix of circumstances to make it a blowout. Ohio State significantly better than Michigan this year. Michigan won this game for 3 years in a row. game is in Ohio. It reminds me of 2008, 2008 Alabama Auburn. Auburn was going to try to win their seventh straight. They were an average team. Alabama was number 1 or 2 in the country. Game was in Tuscaloosa. They absolutely destroyed Auburn in that game. It was awful. Won their first Iron Bowl in years. That's how this game feels. This is one of those games where if you're a Michigan fan, right, you want to put your kids at your grandparents' house with the TV turned off. And then when they come home, tell them bedtime stories about how the Wolverines fought valiantly and they almost got the Buckeyes, where in reality, they got like slaughtered and then their corpses were played with for 40 minutes. And then they burned everything as they walked off the field. Because this game is not going to be close. I'm expecting 40 something to 12. Like it's going to be bad. Ohio State is going to look to get every bit of anger out on Michigan this upcoming Saturday. Ryan Day knows. He's heard all this stuff about how he's lost to Michigan 3 years in a row. And despite double-digit win seasons every year and a playoff appearance where they almost beat Georgia during that time, and frankly would have, in my opinion, if Marvin Harrison didn't get injured, he knows. And he's going to put every bit of that into destroying Michigan on Saturday. So, yeah, give me Ohio State to just absolutely dominate in this game, make it completely unwatchable for anyone that isn't wearing scarlet and gray. I mean, it's going to be to the point where you got people who were victimized by the cheating scandal who are probably going to feel bad for Michigan because of what they're watching. Like, that's how this is going to go down. I 1,000% believe it. Like, this game does not move the dial for me at all in terms of, oh, this is going to be competitive and fun to watch.
I'm gonna say this. I just want to say this. Chase, you brought up a good point. If Ryan Day somehow loses this game,
he's fired.
He shouldn't even be allowed back in the locker room post game. They should fire him on the field. Take off your hat. Take off your shirt. You're going cold, all right? Because you can't wear the Ohio State logo anymore.
You know, and I hope they take a plane from Columbus to Columbus just so they can go to the tarmac and leave behind the day, like Lane Kiffin was left at USC. Like there's no possible, definitely first year head coach Sharon Moore. Like there's no possible way you can lose the game at all. Just at all. No ifs and buts about it.
Yeah, no, he loses this game, he will be fired. That is 1,000%. Michigan could be actually good this year, and if he loses this game, he would be fired. Like that's what he's at right now. You can't lose 4 games in a row in the game. Not at Ohio State, not a team that has dominated this rivalry ever since the turn of the millennium. Like you start in 2000 and go to now, I think Michigan's won the game like 4 or 5 times. Like it has been overwhelmingly Ohio State. So yeah, you're 100% right about that, Freddie. He loses, he can kiss this job goodbye. But guys, I think that's going to do it for our coverage on the game. Make sure you watch all of our other videos we're doing this week on predictions for the college football season. Our pick prediction race is really neck and neck, especially I know Freddie and I are straight up tied right there at the top. Chase is like, 3 games behind in total. So we got a lot coming for you for the rest of this week and through the bowl season. Remember to use our code 3BOLDTAKES for 20% off your first purchase with SeatGeek. And that being said, we've been 3 Bold Takes, Freddie, Chase, Quinn, and we're out of here.